Hey, this is Tom, and this is Tom's Radio Room Show. It's only taken me 30 minutes to get things working again. I don't know. Computers can be really. I won't say the word. Jeez. Anyway, I came out this morning to see how shortwave conditions are and try to, get back to the configuration I've been using and I've been very successful at. I also checked the solar flux index, and it's 91 today, which is for this time of year is pretty good. Anything above 90 is pretty good. We typically want solar flux index to be above 100. So it's gosh, it's already 8 o'clock in the morning here. I think like I started this about 2 hours ago. Anyway, so we're going to use this Fifi SDR, little SDR box, and we're going to use the MFJ 31-foot vertical antenna, which is good for 80 meters to 6 meters, and it seems to work pretty darn good. It did survive the hurricane we had a couple of weeks ago. Actually, we didn't have too much in the way of a hurricane. Maximum winds were about 30 miles an hour. So it seemed to have survived. So let me shut this down because this internet program does use a lot of CPU, and between the screen capture software and SDR console version 3, it pretty well uses up all my CPU power. So right now, it's tuned to WWV, and as you can see, pretty strong signals there. And I've got a few favorites in this program saved, so let's go look at them. Under International, I have Radio Australia. Let's try that.
It has no reporting mechanisms. That doesn't have the full bolstering of the Human Rights Act that came in after it. And it was devised.
That is booming in. Look at all these signals here on this display. All booming in. I don't know what this monster is. Let's click on it. Spanish station, probably local. Boy, it's booming in. Wow, look at that signal. Let's see what else we got. Radio, Voice of Korea. Probably won't get that this time of day. Yeah. But look how busy the band is. Okay, let's move on. Radio Thailand. Might be able to get that. No. Again, that's kind of high frequency, upper in the upper band. I think this might have been a Canadian time signal. There's a pretty good signal there, but I'm not getting anything. I don't know what's causing this wave effect. There is something down in the mud there. I guess this is probably another one of those Spanish stations. Yeah. That is, let me turn this down for a second. That is one thing I struggle with down in Florida, and I say struggle in that I get a lot of Spanish stations. I don't know if they're in Florida, or the Cuba, South America, or Haiti, where they're at, but they come booming in this about 5 megahertz to 7 megahertz. So I kind of tend to stay away from that frequency band. See what else I get on my favorites list. Radio New Zealand, I should be able to get that. 9.7, not there this morning. There is something over here. Not sure what that is. Oops, since they're playing music, I better turn it down. Let's see if I dare open up Chrome and look up 9.710. It sounds a little familiar. My memory's not that good, so I have to go back to short-wave.info and we'll put in 9710. And sure enough, there is a station there, and it's China Radio. And right now, they are broadcasting either in Chinese or Spanish. Well, it could be Radio Habana, which is close to me. That could be what it is. So it's one of those two. Now you can see right here, I don't know if my screen capture is capturing it, but you see this little box that says, please wait. That means SDR console now doesn't have enough CPU power to continue processing. So let me close this down and see if I can get it working again. This is where I run into problems with this computer. I'm using a dual core Dell, probably 10 years old, and Chrome for some reason uses a lot of CPU power as well as this SDR console. So I run into problems when I try to run both of them. Sometimes. Lately it's been more of a problem. And see, it's trying to come back now. And there we go. It's almost back. It's still saying please wait. And of course this SDR console program is doing a lot of computing. And if I dare you look at, let me see something. Let me go see if I can get to the window on my desktop. And I have over here a little program running in the background that tells me the CPU usage, the RAM usage, and the swap usage. And it's saying right now CPU usage is 100%. Now this little program doesn't take much of the CPU resources, so that's not a problem. But screen capture program is running, of course, and that takes a lot of CPU power. So I don't know if it's going to come back or not. Still using 90% and up of the CPU usage, and I still have this please wait screen, which means SDR console is still struggling. I don't know if it's going to recover here or not. Let's see if we can get it to recognize close and close it down. Yeah, When I was doing this a few minutes ago, I was having the same problem. This is before I started recording it for the show. So I think the same problem, and I had to shut down Windows. And when I did, okay, there it is. There's the message that says it crashed. So it did crash. Now, since I'm back out of Chrome, let me see if I can restart SDR console and stay out of Chrome. See if it will recover. The volume back on here. Let me change frequencies. Okay, that's another thing I've noticed about this SDR console. When it crashes like that, it seems to be, it's not detrimental, except when I come back and start the program again, I have no audio. And it looks like I've got audio, but I have no audio. So that's what you just saw a few seconds ago. So let's go back to favorites. And we were trying this 9710. And I think we're there now. Let's go back here and turn the volume back on. Yeah, that's got to be Radio Habana. I say that because it's in Spanish. And that was one of the two stations that were on 9.710. Okay, let's see what else I got in my favorites under international. New Guinea. I might be able to get New Guinea. Nope. What is this monster? Wow. Turn the volume down. That's a huge signal. I don't know what it is. Could be interference from my laptop. 7.406 or thereabouts. Booming in. Ooh. Let's see if there's any weather fact stations on the air right now. Let's try the first one here. 8.502. Now, let me turn the volume down. That's one of the beauties of this program and several other programs that control these SDRs is because you're using a computer, you've got an infinite number of memory locations you can save. So that's one of the things I got to do is I'm going to take Gil's listing of his favorites, shortwave stations that he's received, and I'm going to pick every one of them. There's about 30 for regular shortwave and probably another 25 on utility stations, and program them into SDR console. SDR console, I believe you can have an infinite number. Some of the other programs, you're limited to like 100 or something like that. So I'll do that sometime today, maybe. I'm just going to take his list that I've got right here and see if we can hear some of the utility stations this morning. Okay, let me get my list, or his list right here. Got to stay away from 5 megahertz to 7 megahertz because I'm going to get probably interference from, let's try 8.424. 8.42, oops, wrong way. Let's do it down here. 8.4, oops, wrong way, 2, 4. Wrong way again. Okay, let's see what we got here. Yeah, there's a signal right there. Turn the volume back up. Nope. Ooh. Yeah, there's something there. Now that's the other beauty of using a software-defined radio is you can visually see things. Where if I was listening on an analog, I call them analog radios now. If I was listening on an analog radio, I would just hear that noise. And I would say, well, there's nothing there. But here, I can actually see something. There's something there. See, there's a little spike there. And I can barely hear some audio. Now, over here is a big spike. Let's see what's over here. That's going away. Oh. I think that's RTTY. And then there's CW. So there's another frequency, 8.419. There is, let me turn the audio off. I get comments that, why are you fooling with shortwave? Shortwave's dead. Shortwave's not dead by any means. If you were just interested into listening to international broadcast bands, and you were using a little portable radio that didn't have very good reception, you were using the internal little whip antenna, yeah, you're not going to get much. But if you've got, especially if you've got an external antenna, that makes all the difference in the world. And for finding things, these SDR radios, it's kind of a misnomer, these SDRs are ideal for finding signals. Shortwave, AM, FM, UHF, VHF, you name it, they will work on all different frequencies. Now, some of the little dongles are only good for VHF and UHF and won't work on HF. The SDR-console version 3 that I showed you, that's a dongle, and it works on all bands from 500 kilohertz to 2 gigahertz. Now, some bands it works better than others. Anyway, the other thing is you can pipe these audio signals into other programs that can decode the digital data. And that's interesting too. Also, you can copy these signals and pipe it into a program that will display weather facts images. I've showed you that in the past. So anyway, today's looks like it's doing pretty good. I will continue to scan the bands this morning and see how things are going. And I suggest you do the same thing. If you haven't tried one of these SDRs, the one that I reviewed about 10 shows ago, the SDR-console version 3.0 is an excellent to start with. One to start with is $25, and you can get it from Amazon, or you can get it from my Amazon store. So anyway, that's the show for this morning. If you enjoyed the show, please give me a thumbs up. Take that extra second, hit that thumbs up button. That gives me an indication that this was a show that's had some interest. Bye-bye.